Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachav Odash. Double honors to my apostles, the great millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful members, the elect, the Bacharium of the house of David that's been preordained, predestined to get delivered in these last times and to be the ruling governing body of the nation Yasha'Allah. So I want to go into like a news and prophecy. Alright, really, I just have one article, but the draft is coming. Alright, that military draft is coming. As you can see on my screen, Zero Hedge, military draft coming. House passes measure to automatically register men for selective service. Okay, so it's not concrete yet, but it will be soon. All right, that military draft will come. Okay, and these Americans, the youth of America, they're done. You know, they're nothing but LGBT. They're all confused. The men are effeminate. The women are more masculine. Okay, and I believe women will be drafted as well. Okay, it's from 18 to 26 years old. But these Americans are weak. You know, like a brother was going into, he posted a video of Cardi B. She said, you're going to get these TikTokers, these dudes that be, you know, shaking their hips or whatever, you know, these young adults that play Fortnite, all right, that are emasculated, you know, effeminized. Okay, everyone is confused. You know, this whole LGBT movement is rampant all throughout America. Okay, you can even look at the clothing that these young Americans wear, and it's effeminate, man. All right, they won't stand a chance against the manliness of these Russians. All right, or the Chinese that push out that masculine energy. You see? So I'm going to read this real quick. Revelation 9 verse 12. One woe is past, which that's World War I that happened in 1914 to 1918. And behold, there come two woes more after, and woe means destruction. World War II already took place from 1939 to 1945. Okay. And World War III is on the horizon, and you see it boiling up. Okay. And again, these young Americans will stand no chance against the Russians and the Chinese and their allies, the Iranians. Okay, so I'm going to read this. It says the House of Representatives on Friday approved its version of the annual defense policy bill, effectively clearing the $883.7 billion National Defense Authorization Act, or the NDAA, to move forward in a 217 to 199 vote, which largely fell along party lines. Only 3 Republicans opposed it. Okay, so I'm gonna skip down. It says this means that all able-bodied males in the country, 18 to 26, could potentially be drafted in a scenario of a future war declaration by Congress. The selection will be based on information from federal databases, right? You see, and that war is coming, World War III, okay? And again, you know, these young Americans stand no chance, all right? These TikTok, LGBT, Fortnite playing, weak, emasculated men will stand no chance against the strong, prideful, masculine Russians and Chinese that embrace masculinity, you know? They don't play that effeminate nonsense. Okay, just type in Russian soldiers, type in Chinese soldiers, and how they prepare for war. All right, America, we're a laughingstock. You know, now we're still a powerhouse. Okay, with our militaries. You know, we're still leading in that. All right, with the sword and all that, but it's being weakened. Okay, because the mindset is being weakened. It all starts in the mind. You weaken the mind, you can take out the individual. You can take out the target easily. All right. Just look at Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin. All right, he got in his mind, you know, and of course, you know, skill and the athleticism of Tank Davis. But either way, you weaken the mind, you can take out the target. You can take out the target easily. All right, and the minds of these Americans are weakened. Okay. You know, just a few years ago, you had a lot of men protesting against, how women should be able to abort babies. They don't play that in other countries. They look at that as like they look at that as murder because it is. Okay. So let's get Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 28. Behold, an horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east. That's talking about the Middle East or the Arabian region, because that's the hot spot of where World War III will take place. Okay, let me get on Joel. Let's get Joel. Just like you bear me for 1 second. Joel, the second chapter. So I can put my phone down. Okay. Okay, after Hosea. It's like I got this new Bible, so. Joel chapter 2, verse, we get to the point, verse 20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, which is America, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, all right, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea. Okay, the East Sea being the Red Sea, all right, and the utmost sea being the Euphrates. Okay, it says, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he had done great things. All those dead bodies, basically, over there in that land that's barren and desolate. The land that's barren and desolate is the Arabian region, the Middle East, West Asia. Okay. However you want to call it, okay, which Saudi Arabia, that's a new term, but West Asia, okay, you see, it says, well, that was it actually, okay, but yeah, the Lord is gonna, bring these American troops over there in the land that's barren and desolate. Okay, because again, that's the hot spot of that's gonna be the hot spot of World War III. All right, and these Negroes still yelling Juneteenth. And nigga, you gotta go to work tomorrow, nigga. You be a slave. Let me get Jeremiah, because hey, the process of seeing all this is beautiful. Seeing prophecy being fulfilled, it's a beautiful thing. All right. So let me get Jeremiah chapter 50, verse, let me get to the point, 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon, America. All right, if you don't know, Babylon is America, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans, which is America again. Surely the least of the flock, which is Israel, all right, the Zionists, Amalekites, which are a tribe of Esau, they're Edomites, all right, and they're the ones that's ruling, all right, the international banking families. They go back to the chief house of Amalek, okay, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Gettys, and so on, all right, the Vanguards, the Vanguards and BlackRock, those two corporations, they're owned by the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, those elite families, all right, the wicked international banking families, okay, that own everything, every corporation, everything you see, that's owned by them, all right. These stores, the media outlets, the music industry, it's all owned by them. And they push their philosophies around the world. Okay? You know? And it says, so surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Yeah, so Israel is gonna, do something, which you already see it. What's going on over there in the Gaza Strip, all right? Them going to war, all right? Decimating those people over there, the civilians, okay? And America is siding with them, giving them aid and money, all right? But it's it's getting hot over there, okay? You got the Houthis, which is like a Yemen, militia group, okay? They're doing attacks on Israel and attacks on certain ships along the Red Sea, okay, which is hurting several economies as well as the West, okay. But either way, the whole point is they're gonna do something to really bring in those American troops over there, okay. You see, and you're seeing it, you're starting to see that, all right. You're starting to see World War III boiling up, but again, the MOTB, the mark of the beast, the chip has to be implemented first. All right, but the Lord just setting all the stages up. It says, He shall make their habitation desolate with them. Right. It says, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations, because America will be nuked. All right, so let's go back to 2nd Ezra 15, verse 28 again. Behold, in horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, all right, in the Middle East, just so you know, okay, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia, all right, those Arabian nations, Ishmael, shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth. All right, the Russians, the Iranians, those allies, that's gonna go against America and their allies, NATO. Okay. You see, and then Russia's going to be that guard, as it says in Ezekiel 38. That's why NATO was created, to go against Russia. Okay, but the Lord's putting the hooks in Russia's jaw to go back to that Soviet Union mind state again, and you see it today, and they're very masculine. I knew a couple Russians. I'm right. I was even learning Russian myself. There was a phase where I was learning Russian. I could speak some words and phrases. All right. But yeah, they're very masculine people. All right, I had a Russian friend, I grew up with. I used to be in his house. Really, he was Ukrainian, but he was, I think his dad was, part Russian. His mom was Ukrainian. He was born in Ukraine. He came here to America at like 7. But I grew up in his house, and he was, masculine dude. All right. It says, so like I lost my place. Okay, it says that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians, Iranians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall become, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Right. So, again, where the nations of the dragons, going back to verse 29, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia, Ishmael, shall come out with many chariots, their armies, and the multitude of them shall be carried, the Russians, okay, as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians, the Iranians. So you're seeing all these allies, all right, that's going to come against, America, okay. Again, that hot spot of World War III is going to take place in the Middle East, all right. And it says, and with great power shall become. It's like it says, also the Carmanians rage and harass shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and that they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in power to persecute them. Right? You see? And it says, going back, it says, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. That's talking about the Americans, There's going to be a lot of dead bodies over there. All right, and ultimately when Yahushua comes, as it says in 2nd Ezra 13, I'm not going to get it. All right. But actually, I'll read a little bit, 2nd Ezra 13, verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, All they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid and yet durst fight. Actually, I'll start up at verse. Start at verse 3. It says, "And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven," that's Yahushua, "and the host of the holy angels that would come with them, and that gigantic chariot, which you call UFOs. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth filleth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the men that came out of the sea." Right, and that's talking about all the armies that's going to be over there in the Middle East. All right, all of them. You know, the Russians, the Americans, the Iranians, all of them. Okay, because they're going to turn their attention to the Lord and they're going to try to fight him. All right. They're going to be fighting each other at first, and then once the Lord comes, they're going to turn their attention to on the Lord and the hosts of the holy angels and try to fight them, try to fight the angels. It talks about that in Revelation the 7th chapter. Michael and the war in heaven. All right, that's going to be the angels are going against these troops. All right, that's going to take place in a hot spot over there in the Middle East in World War III, and it's going to be an easy battle for the Lord and the angels. Okay. And it says, "But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not." So the chariot that Ezra was seeing in that vision, all right, seeing to the future, he couldn't even see the ending or the beginning of it. It was like Independence Day, the second one. It was like gigantic chariot, It says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid and yet durst fight." You see? So they're gonna try to fight the Lord, but it will come to no avail. It's gonna be an easy battle. Okay? Let's get Isaiah. What's that? Let me see if I can find it. Isaiah 9 verse 5. "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood." That was how ancient wars were fought. Swords clinging and clashing. All right. Your sword going through another man, taking him out. And it says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise." Okay. That's how ancient war was again. All right. Clinging and slashing and shields hitting each other. All right, and it says, "And garments rolled in blood, but this shall be burning and fuel of fire." Right, ultimately the missiles, because that's what's gonna, hit the Middle East as well. The Lord's gonna, decimate them. All right, with the laser beams. Okay, it says in Second Ezra the 13th chapter. I didn't read further, but he's gonna decimate them with those laser beams. But the ICBM missiles will be shot off as well and hit that region of that landmass. Because Israel got to be cleansed. That got to be nuked. America's going to be nuked. All right. And it says, fuel of fire. All right. Or it says, "And this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." Bullets, tanks. All right. Because the war has advanced over the centuries. Okay. It started off with, with those rifles. Like you can shoot one at a time. All right. The bayonet. And now it's automatic rifles, just like Call of Duty, all right, with tanks and claymores and all types of advanced weaponry, mines and missiles, all right, So yeah, man, and these Americans are not ready, all right. These Americans are not ready, okay. The scriptures even say how what's that scripture? Actually, let me get that real quick. Bear with me for 1 second. Let me see if I can find Isaiah 40 verse 30, even the youths shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. All right? And you're seeing that. The youths, especially among Jake, is getting weak. They even said that testosterone has plummeted over the last 50 years. You know, like 50 years ago, men had higher testosterone. You know, they were real men. All right? And women were in their natural role, which is a beautiful role. All right? Taking care of the house, the children. You see? But these men are all weak now. Their testosterone is low as hell. Hell, even our testosterone, we try to get it at a high level, but it's like, damn, it's not like how it used to be 70 years ago. All right? Because the food we eat, you know, with the chemicals and the GMOs that weaken our immune system and weaken our testosterone. All right? The air we breathe is filled with chemicals, chemtrails. All right? We're being attacked on every level. All right? The social programming that's programming these young men, all right, and women to be sodomites and LGBT, and you know, to basically just be weak. All right, you see, and like the elder Yashawamba was saying in this video, the one thing about this generation though is they will rebel though. All right, because they're starting to be, you know, starting to wake up because of the internet. They're seeing the BS of this nation and the government. So they will rebel. All right. 2nd Ezra 15, you know, it says what? It says, verse 16, for there shall be sedition, rebellion among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings or princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right. So they will rebel. All right. It's one thing I got to give it to these, you know, these little Fortnite niggas. All right. They will stand up. Okay. But again, it's going to be to no avail. They're going to be sent to FEMA camps, drafted, and killed by the sword at the end of the day. These women are going to be ravished. You know, they're going to be taken to FEMA camps. Okay? So let me get another one. It says Jeremiah 30 verse 6, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned to paleness. Right? You know? That's the time of Jacob's trouble. These men are going to be really weak out here, devastated. He said even the mighty men are going to travail like women. Okay? So I just want to get this, all right, on this draft, and, you know, that's going to come soon, all right? We're just seeing, you know, the process of it, okay? So Lord willing, this was edifying. On to the next one. Shalom.